Hey, in this clip, Matt Hawn, who is a brilliant CPO and product leader with many, many years of experience, we spoke about, but will they eat our lunch? You know, who are the competitors that we don't know about? Who's going to be coming to us? And he shares some really, really great insights on this. And I think it's something that we might not, as experienced product leaders and as product teams, think about enough, you know, the whole competitive landscape. And I've been fortunate enough to work in some organizations that do this really, really well. But sometimes as product leaders, you know, we feel our product is so unique and we're kind of a unicorn and we don't really keep up to speed and up to date with where the competitive landscape is. Anyway, Matt had some great insights on this. I really hope you enjoy it. And please feel free to reach out in the comments and let me know what you think. Enjoy.
I always tell the guys to look at 4 points of data, right? The operational data of like how often are people literally, what are they clicking on? That the quant data of what we're being used. I tell them to look at the qual data, right? We always have to have the qualitative feedback coming in and the customer feedback, and they have to be looking at all that stuff. They also have to be looking at the market base, just what you're talking about. Do we understand that market? Do we understand what's going on there? And then there's a third less tangible one, which is like, who's going to fucking eat our lunch, right? Who is coming at us out here in the corner and who's coming after us in this space? And you should know that. And that's curiosity. All, you know, wrapping up all four of those areas of quant data, qual data, market data, and just frankly, it's instinct and gut and understanding of who's coming for you, and a little bit of who's hungrier than you is understanding that and understanding where that's gonna come from. You know, it's how you keep from becoming complacent. Because you're right, it's really easy to stay in your bubble of like, I saw my data, I saw my A/B results. We're making progressive stuff, and you know, we're making incremental changes, but you miss the fucking comet coming out of left field or the iceberg I talked about earlier, right? You know, Sony missed the value of what was coming when I was there. And when Napster happened, we were at the peak. I mean, if you look at that point of when the music industry was at its peak in record, it was exactly the time the Napster hits. And then the progressive slide from $40 billion company to about a $13 billion industry happened over the time I was there. You know, and while digital music was coming up and we're now kind of returning to that space, you would not have found people in the building who were really smart. I'm not going to say the music company people aren't smart. They were just complacent because they've been making so much money and people love our product and they're willing to pay 17 pounds a CD and all this shit. You know, but they never saw, it's classic innovator's dilemma. You never see the people coming for you if you don't put your own boats out in the water. But well, you've always got to be out there.
Join Metallica at that stage. I'm sure.
Yeah, I guess, and even piss, you know, or you know, Metallica can piss off all your customers. Yeah, no, there's so many mistakes that music companies made in the time I was there, right? I mean, I was next door to guys who made really dumb ones, and at some point, I mean, after the 8 years that I was there, I saw there was a red dot above my desk, and I'm like, what is that red dot? I'm like, oh, that's where I've been banging my head against the wall, trying to get this to change, and it's when I knew I needed to leave and get out of the business.
Yeah, and I mean that is some advice because I get asked this a lot. You know, we, you know, a colleague of mine had like a kind of a career accelerator, and for product people, a lot of what we're doing, a large percentage, I don't want to give a number, but a large percentage of the advice is really you can't fix the problem you're in, or your company's wrong, or you just can't fix Sony. You're one person, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You got to move on. Sometimes you just got to kind of take your losses and go, you know, whatever. Like, I'd love to fix it. It ain't fixable, at least by one person, and I can't get the ground cover, whatever it is. And I think the same goes with kind of scaling product teams. You know, a lot of the time, when you're trying to get the right people or bring them on board and get them to do certain things, like we can talk about great frameworks and value frameworks, and, you know, we've got our product scorecard methodology and other things. But you know what? If the senior leadership and other people don't buy into it, it's just no one's going to listen, right?